Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. Okay, I was on the phone this morning, probably for the last half an hour before I got on here. And actually, before we do that, let's talk about where we were yesterday. So yesterday we did the cranes, some boats, and some other bits and pieces. In the last couple of days, sort of catching up on everything else. Now, while I was on the phone, I'm looking at the model because I was really eager to start. And basically what I did is anywhere there was any missed paint or slightly spilled paint, I used the glue to help clean it up. I've used this glue to even knock off, see, even pieces like this. Let's see if I can come in here for a second and have a look. This. Yeah, that should work. So I got the glue, and where all these pieces were all painted on the sprue, and where I cut them off, there's just little sprue pieces. So I've done this in the past on other models where the exposed plastic, if you hit it with a little bit of glue, it just dulls it right down, and sometimes actually melts it. And it just gets rid of that sprue mark. So this morning, I went over it, and just anything that sort of didn't look right, like the little join there. It's got a little bit of white stuff in there. So we just hit that with that, and it gets rid of it. There was white on top of here from sanding, and there was a sprue mark, so I got rid of them. Tops of the lights I did. Down the back here, these little radars I've done. This light had some paint on it, so I used the glue to remove the paint on top, just to basically clean it up. This one down here I also did, just to get rid of the sprue mark. And pretty much anything else that I'd sort of previously missed or that needed cleaning up. I'd also noticed down here this morning, one of these guns at the front. Let's come down here. This was a little messy, so I thought, well, we'll get some glue and we'll clean that up as well. So I used the glue to soften it, loosen it, and then pretty much just use the brush to take it away. This was just about cleaning the surface up a bit more. And I was doing all this while being on the phone. I'm like, well, I really wanted to show you more on camera. I've done it again. I've hit pause and play and pause and play, and I just spent the last 5 minutes talking and looked down and it's not even on. So I was just saying that basically I was cleaning up and everything on this side. I have not done the other side though. So just anything where there was exposed sprue from cutting it off, or that anything that's white that I wasn't happy with, then yeah, I just hit it with a little bit of glue just to get rid of it. It's got a little bit of a sharp edge on those, so get rid of those. And I haven't done the other side. I did do all this side, and I am fairly happy with those. I know the boats look a little horrible at the moment, but I do know that when I hit this with the matte varnish, it should come up okay. So let's turn the ship around. I think I just did it again. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Is I'm positive I hit play. Anyway, so down the back here, while we're cleaning up, there's just a couple of more bits and pieces. We'll just clean those up as well, just to make them look a little better. If I get any on the brush, I'll just wipe it over here. That's a little better. We'll do the other side as well. Yeah, and it just cleans it up. So you can do that at your own leisure all over your ship if you like. It doesn't really matter. So that is now cleaned up. We can put the gun back the right way. 1 and 2. So let's have a look at the plan for a minute. So we've done all the boats. Yeah, I did kind of make a small mistake yesterday on the boats, because pretty much what I did on one side here, I did on the other. It slightly messed it up, but that's okay. Where are we there? We've got the boats down there. Yes, we do. Yes. I'm pretty sure most of the boats are all done. And there's nothing really left behind anyway, so let's move on from that. So 43, we did the 2 cranes. We have not done 44, yeah, the cranes are down. 45, this is where we stopped yesterday, I do believe. And that stuff that I was explaining before was all because I was on the phone. Okay, so 45, 46, 47 and 48 is more about the mast at the end. So let's get on to the main mast here. In actual fact, there is 1, 2, 3 little masts here to put on and a bit of a structure here. So let's get on to 45 and cut those parts off. They're all painted, but we just need to cut them off. Okay, there's our painted sprue. So there's the main mast. There's the structure we're talking about. There's another mast here. That's probably the end one, the little tiny one, and a few other bits and pieces. Probably the one we're going to really worry about the most is this sort of one here. So we'll snip that one off first on there and then take it off here. But they're all on there and they're already painted, which is really good. Well, there's most of the pieces off. I've just trimmed them up. I haven't sanded them or anything, and I'm not going to. I think they're too small to sand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So there's the main mast. There's our pieces. So let's put it together. So there's the mast right there where my thumb is. So we've got the main mast. We need to add on B180, and then how does it sort of sit? Okay, it sort of sits off itself. Okay, alright, I'm just looking at the picture over here. So it kind of sits off on a 45-degree angle with this piece on there as well. Okay, so let's put the small piece on, the 180. There it is, sort of dry fitted. It does have a locator there, so we'll just hold that there now, and we'll put some glue on it just while we've got it there, and then we can close it up. Whoop, there we go. We'll just worry about the one side for now. Now that it's on, we'll get the other side. Just going to clean that brush a little bit. And then we'll just dab some glue on there. And that little bit of sprue there, that's why I said don't worry about it. We'll just paint that just to get rid of it. There's one there as well. And that'll make your job a whole lot easier. So there's the next piece, the right way up it's got to go on. And we've almost got to drop that antenna on. So let's get the antenna ready. Let's put some glue on here on the 1, 2, 3 tabs. And hopefully we can pick this up in one go. And drop this straight on there. Now which way does it go? It's got to go almost fairly level. I know it's got... Oop, we lost it. Now we're out of glue, so what we'll do, we'll just place this one on here. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, because the glue's no longer working in our favour, but that's okay. Let's just sit that there, like that. What do you got here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's in the exactly the right spot. Let's drop some glue there. That'll help hold it. Let's drop some glue there. And some there. And let's just nudge this back in. Just like that. We're still 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, could probably go just a fraction back that way. Ooh. Yeah, it's tiny. That's why I'm doing this piece there and not why it's on the mast. Okay, now I'm happy with that again. I flooded that a little bit to let it go off. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put that one down and let that dry off for a second. So just while that piece is drying off, I'm looking a little forward and I'm seeing these two structures here. And I'm thinking to myself, I think I better put these on first rather than handle this with this loose part up here, because I think the last piece we want to put on is this one here. So let's get, looks like F76 and B138. I'd mentioned this last piece on this sprue a while ago, and I knew it would come up eventually. I did see it on there. So there's our F piece. So that is another sprue that is now finished as well. So that's our 5th sprue that's now finished. Let's get the other piece out. Here it is. This one's painted, which is kind of good because I like how I got contrasting colours. I've done that without even thinking about it. How's that? So there's that piece off. I think we will clean this one just a little bit, just here and here. Although I think this somehow goes on with this one. Something like that. Oh, actually, we don't need to clean it. So I do like how it's got the contrasting colours there. Do we need to clean this one up? Yeah, we need to clean this one up. Actually, let's clean them both. It was just a little easier to clean them both. Sure, I'm going to take some paint off, but because I've already just dry fitted it, I know how it's going to go on. So that'll go on there like that. So obviously, the cleaner the fit, the better it will go on. So while we're at it, we'll clean those up. I suppose I should have brought you in a little bit there. We'll bring you in. So I just basically went over it a little bit, just to get rid of the sprue marks. They're done. Brush them off. Okay, and how's the rest of it? Not too bad. We'll probably get rid of that little piece up there as well. So those two pieces basically go together like that. So while we've got that one there, let's put some glue on that as well. Just be a little careful here that it doesn't wick through to your hand. So just a little dab just to start it off, and then give it a push, and then we'll flip it over and we'll glue the underside. That'll just make sure that it's going to stay together. Probably should take some glue off there. There we go. And just wick that in, and that should be it. So we'll let that dry off for a minute. So there it is, and I just glued the front there, this tower here. And I did notice a little bit of sanding marks here, so we'll get the glue and we'll just remove that. It'll bring back the plastics back to normal. And there we have it. Okay. Well, there's our mast. I was just seeing where this goes, and I was a little confused at first. I'm like, well, where does it go? It goes on here somewhere, and it can go on here like this and whatever else. But what it is, there's a locator inside this piece, and there's the locator there, and they've made the job very easy. That's exactly how it goes on. So there's your hole, there's your locator. So what we'll do is put that on there. Let's glue that one home. I'll just quickly do that off camera so I've got more hands free. So there it is glued on, and all I did was made sure I pushed it in nice and tight. Just make sure you have to roll the mast a little bit left and right to get it up here properly. There we go, we just moved that a little bit. And you're probably thinking, oh, but John, you know, the back's not painted. It doesn't matter. This is all about contrasting colours, and they do work because they kind of stand out a little bit more when they're like that. So a few minutes has gone past, and just to let everything sort of really dry off, now we've just got to fit the last piece. So we're up the top here again. If I can pick it up. Here we go. So how it basically goes on, see if I can do a dry fit. It goes on much like, is there a locator at the back? No. So it goes on basically just like that at a 45 degree. What would be easier for you to do this? I would probably say you could probably flood that. Let's see if we can do this on camera. I'm going to get a lot of glue and flood that piece. And hopefully I can pick that up again. I can. Let's put that with the bar up to the top. Put that on the 45 just like that. You'll have to hold it for a few seconds, and that is what you're kind of after. Just there. I really hope I got that on camera. I think I just got it in. So what I'll do is I'll let that go off, and then what I'll do, I'll come back. Where's my pointer? I haven't seen my pointer for a while now. Where is it? It's obviously around here somewhere. Oh, it's over there. Okay, so what I'll do is I will come back and reglue one half just to stiffen it up, and once that's gone off, I'll then come and reglue the other half. Why? Because if I do the whole lot, this is going to become flimsy again. So there it is on another angle. That's 45, close enough. It could probably come up a little more. How do you know it's enough? I would say when that top bar just there is level. Now let's make it a little less than 45. I reckon it probably could come up like that. That'll do. Let's wait for that to go off. So I've re-glued it. I'm just going to let it sit there and go off. It did want it to fall forward. That's why I'm laying it on its back, because I don't think it's going to fall much more backwards. Okay, got a little bit carried away watching some YouTube there. This should be well and truly dry. It's probably been more than half an hour. Yeah, that's really dry. Okay, so let's put this on the ship. So this one goes between all the boats in the middle. The main mast goes between them. I have seen the hole there, and it's got a face towards the rear. Okay, let's put that on. So there's the ship now facing in the right direction as the plan. It just makes it easier to understand it. And then pretty much this one goes on down in between here. Oh, there's a floor there as well. Okay, so we're going to kind of put the floor on and that on together. Something like that. Well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to spin the ship around. It was a little tight to get it started, but I do believe it is started. And then we've just got to push it down just like that. I think I've over pushed it there, so let's try and get that back up. Okay, so the mast is not down all the way yet because there's the staircase under there. So what we need to do is we need to get that staircase to touch down. So I think what we need to do a little more. Yeah, it does want to flick backwards. I don't know why, but it does. So let's get the floor down and glued. Let's go a little more. Let's go a little more like that. And then we can worry about the mast, whether it's got to be sitting up or down. So that's the plan. So that is now glued. We'll just give that a minute to go off. So far all I did was glue the staircase, and this structure now comes down on top of this one here. And it does want to point the mast slightly on an angle. I think that's meant to be like that. These are all the way down. You can see the floor's got a slight angle to it. So I would say that is correct. So while we're there, let's just put a little bit of glue on those bits and pieces, and the same on the other side. And just kind of eyeing up to make sure the mast doesn't go either left or right. I didn't actually glue the mast, there was no need. So that's our first of three, and probably the hardest one done. Let's have a look at the next one. So our next one is B176. So there is B176, and at first glance it looks exactly the same either way, except for that little nub down the bottom down there, and that is to face forward of the ship, and it goes on the first main structure. Let's see if we can do this on the camera. Okay, it always makes it a little hard when the ship is moving around, but in there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that, and then I'll just give it a small twist and straighten it up. So that mast is now on. It looks pretty good. So that's the second one on, and there's one more to go. I cut it off, and to be honest with you, I don't know what happened to it. It just flew off, and I thought I seen it come over here, but I'm looking and I can't find it. So I'm going to have to spend a few minutes trying to find it. Found it. It landed on my leg. So there's our last mast, and that will go on the rear just up here. We could probably do that on camera. Let's put a fair bit of glue on that one. It's got a really big hole for some reason. I don't think it's overly necessary to have it that big, but let's see how we go. There you go. That looks alright. Oh, what's going on? It doesn't sit real good. Push that down. Make sure she's fairly square. Let's have a look. That way, yep, pretty good. I do think it needs just to be turned just a fraction. It does have to be reseated better than that. Let's do that as well. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's have a look at that from a distance. Yeah, that's okay. Well, there we have the 3 masts on. We're not quite finished yet. We're almost, but we are out of time for today. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and it looks like there's probably only one more left in it. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.